The silence in my house on March 15th spoke louder than any birthday song ever could. I'm Nick Harper, 37 years old today, sitting at my kitchen table with a gas station cupcake and a beer that's getting warm while I wait for my wife to remember what day it is. Cara blew past me this morning like I was furniture, her phone glued to her ear, talking to someone about gym sessions and private training. She grabbed her designer purse, the one I paid for with overtime hours at Murphy's auto shop, and disappeared without so much as a glance. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Happy birthday to me, I muttered, lighting the single candle I'd stuck in the chocolate frosting. The flame flickered pathetically in the empty kitchen. My phone buzzed. Cara's mother, Mrs. Wallace, her voice sharp as broken glass. "Nicholas, where are you? We're all waiting at the restaurant for Cara's surprise dinner." "What surprise dinner?" I asked, though the sinking feeling in my gut already knew the answer. "Don't play dumb. Cara said she was bringing you to celebrate with the family. We've been sitting here for an hour." I closed my eyes. "Mrs. Wallace, it's my birthday today, not Cara's." The silence stretched like a rubber band about to snap. "Well, where is she then?" "Ask Cara. She's probably tracking my phone anyway, so she should know exactly where I am. Sitting alone in our kitchen with a cupcake I bought myself." I hung up and stared at the melting candle wax. In 12 years of marriage, Cara had never forgotten my birthday. Not once. But then again, she'd never spent 3 weeks giving me the cold shoulder either, sleeping in the spare room and coming home smelling like someone else's cologne. The front door slammed around midnight. Cara stumbled in, her hair messy, lipstick smeared, wearing that guilty expression I'd been seeing too often lately. "Where were you?" she demanded, as if I was the one who'd been missing. "Here, celebrating my birthday. You know, that thing that happens every March 15th for the past 37 years? Her face went pale. "Oh God, Nick, Save it." I stood up, brushing cupcake crumbs off my work shirt. "Your mother called. They waited at the restaurant for hours. I was at the gym with Amanda. We lost track of time." "Which gym stays open until midnight?" She couldn't meet my eyes. "It was a special session." I bet it was. 3 weeks later, I was still sleeping on the couch. Cara had claimed the bedroom like she was planting a flag on conquered territory. Every morning, she'd emerge looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine, heading off to her job at Meridian Insurance's HR department while I dragged myself to the auto shop. "You look like hell," Ray Kowalski said, sliding a beer across the bar at Murphy's Tavern. Ray had been tending bar there for 15 years, and he read people's problems like a roadmap. "Feel worse than I look." I took a long pull from the bottle. Marriage is officially in the toilet. "Cara still giving you the silent treatment?" "When she's home, which isn't often. She's got this new fitness routine that apparently requires staying out until all hours." Ray wiped down a glass, his weathered face thoughtful. "You know what they say about people who suddenly start working out obsessively?" "Yeah, they're either getting healthy or getting ready to trade up." My phone buzzed with a text from Cara. "Working late tonight. Don't wait up." "Working late on Saturday?" Ray raised an eyebrow. "HR emergencies are very demanding," I said, my voice dripping sarcasm. The next morning, I was doing laundry, something Cara used to handle but had mysteriously stopped caring about, when I found it. Tucked in the pocket of her jacket like a smoking gun, a hotel receipt from the Riverside Inn. Room 237. 2 guests, charged to T. Miller, Trey Miller, I knew that name. The muscle-bound pretty boy who managed elite fitness downtown. The guy who posted shirtless selfies on social media and called himself a lifestyle coach. The guy whose cologne I'd been smelling on my wife's clothes. I sat on the edge of the bed we no longer shared, staring at the receipt. The date was from 2 nights ago, the same night Cara claimed she was working late. Well, I whispered to the empty room. Guess I'm not the only one getting their oil changed. That evening, Cara waltzed in around 10, humming some pop song and looking more relaxed than she had in months. Good day at work? I asked from the kitchen, where I was heating up leftover pizza. Exhausting. You know how it is. She grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, not bothering to look at me. Must be tough. All those HR emergencies at the Riverside Inn. She froze, the water bottle halfway to her lips. What? I held up the receipt. Room 237, you and Trey Miller, working very hard, I'm sure. The color drained from her face, then rushed back in a wave of angry red. You went through my pockets? I was doing laundry. You know, those household chores you've abandoned along with our marriage. Nick, I can explain. Can you? Because I'm really curious how HR training involves hotel rooms and gym managers. She set the water bottle down with shaking hands. This isn't working, Nick. We both know it. What isn't working? Our marriage? Or sneaking around behind my back? We've grown apart. We want different things. Apparently you want Trey Miller. She lifted her chin, defiant now. Maybe I do. At least he pays attention to me. At least he makes me feel alive. And what do I make you feel? Trapped. The word hit like a punch to the gut. I'd worked double shifts to pay for this house, for her car, for the lifestyle she demanded. I'd given her everything I had, and it still wasn't enough. So what now? I asked. I want an open marriage. I laughed, a harsh sound in the quiet kitchen. An open marriage? How very modern of you. People do it all the time. We can stay married but see other people. It's healthier than sneaking around. Healthier for who? You're already seeing other people. You want me to give you permission to keep screwing around while I pay the bills? It doesn't have to be one-sided. You could see other people too. How generous. But here's the thing, Cara. I took vows. Remember those? For better or worse, in sickness and health. Apparently you missed the part about forsaking all others. Her face hardened. Those vows were made by different people. We're not who we were 12 years ago. You're right. 12 years ago, you had integrity. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. I'm staying at Amanda's tonight. Maybe we can discuss this like adults when you're ready to be reasonable. The door slammed, leaving me alone with the echo of her ultimatum. I looked around the kitchen, our kitchen, and felt something cold and calculating settle in my chest. If Cara wanted to play games, I was about to show her just how creative I could get. 2 weeks of planning, 2 weeks of watching, listening, and gathering ammunition while Cara flaunted her open marriage around town like a badge of honor. She'd moved into the spare room permanently and started bringing Trey around the neighborhood, letting him park his flashy red Camaro in our driveway like he was marking his territory. The breaking point came on a Saturday morning when I found Trey keying my 1967 Mustang, the car I'd restored with my own hands, the one thing in this world that was purely mine. Oops, he said when he saw me watching from the porch. Looks like someone scratched your ride. His grin was pure malice. Yeah, someone did. That afternoon, I called Ray. Remember what you said about getting even? I remember saying be careful what you wish for. I'm past careful. I'm ready to give Cara the birthday celebration she deserves. Ray was quiet for a moment. What do you need? A guest list and a restaurant reservation. It's time for a surprise party. I spent the next week making calls. Cara's parents, her sister, her brother and his wife, Amanda and her boyfriend, even Mrs. Fisher from next door, the neighborhood's unofficial gossip coordinator. It's Cara's birthday surprise, I told each of them. She's been so stressed with work lately, I want to do something special. 7 o'clock at Romano's on 5th Street. And please, don't mention it to her. I want it to be a complete surprise. The beautiful thing about lies is that they work best when they're wrapped around a kernel of truth. Cara had been stressed. She did deserve a surprise, and it would definitely be something special. Saturday evening arrived with unseasonable warmth. I put on my best shirt, the blue one Cara bought me for Christmas 3 years ago, and drove to Romano's. The private dining room was perfect, intimate, elegant, with large windows overlooking the street. I arrived early to set up. The cake was a masterpiece, 3 layers, chocolate with vanilla frosting, decorated with 34 candles. "Happy Birthday, Cara," written in flowing script across the top. The guests arrived promptly at 7. Cara's parents, looking confused but pleased. Her siblings carrying wrapped gifts. Amanda and her boyfriend, whispering nervously in the corner. "Where's Cara?" her mother asked. "She'll be here any minute. She thinks she's meeting me for a quiet dinner." At 7:15, Cara walked in wearing a stunning black dress, her arm linked through trays. The room fell silent. "Surprise!" I called out, raising my wine glass. "Happy birthday, sweetheart!" The confusion on her face was priceless. "Nick, what is this? It's not my birthday." "I know, but you forgot mine, so I thought we'd celebrate yours instead. After all, you've been celebrating so many things lately." She looked around the room, taking in the faces of her family, her friends, all staring at her and Trey with growing understanding. "Everyone, I'd like you to meet Trey Miller," I continued, my voice carrying clearly through the room. "Cara's fitness instructor. They've been working out together quite intensively lately. Very hands-on training." Cara's face went white. "Nick, stop." "Oh, but we're just getting started. Please, everyone, sit down. I have so much to share about Cara's new lifestyle choices." I pulled out my phone and connected it to the room's sound system. "I thought you might enjoy hearing about Cara's commitment to physical fitness. She's been so dedicated, staying late at the gym, taking private sessions, even booking hotel rooms for extended training." The hotel receipt appeared on the wall screen, blown up for everyone to see. Cara's mother gasped. "And Trey here is such a devoted trainer. He's been giving Cara very personal attention. In fact, he's been so focused on her that he's neglected some of his other clients, like Mrs. Henderson, who hired him to train her for her daughter's wedding." I clicked to the next slide, a photo of Trey with an older woman, both of them wearing engagement rings. That's right, folks. Trey is engaged. Or was, until his fiancée found out about his extracurricular activities. Turns out she doesn't appreciate sharing her future husband with married women. Trey lunged toward me, but Cara's brother stepped between us. "Sit down," Tom said quietly. "Let him finish." "There's more," I continued. "Trey's been supplementing his income by selling performance enhancers to his clients. Steroids, growth hormones, the works. Very illegal, very dangerous. The police are quite interested in his business practices." The room was silent except for the sound of Cara's mother crying. "But the best part," I said, clicking to the final slide, "is that none of this matters to our marriage anymore. Because there is no marriage. Cara wanted an open relationship, but I prefer honest ones. So I'm giving her exactly what she asked for, complete freedom." I reached into my jacket and pulled out a manila envelope. "Divorce papers, already filed. And before you ask about the house, the cars, the bank accounts, well, let's just say I've been planning this longer than you've been cheating." Cara found her voice at last. "You can't do this. Half of everything is mine." "Actually, it's not. See, when you started your fitness routine 6 months ago, I started my own routine, financial planning. Turns out, when you put the house in one person's name and they refinance it without telling their spouse, that spouse has no legal claim to the property." I smiled at the shocked faces around the table. "I bought out your half of everything, Cara. The house, the cars, even your precious jewelry collection. It's all legal, all documented, all final." Cara stood up, her chair scraping against the floor. "You bastard! You planned this whole thing. Just like you planned your affair. The only difference is, I'm better at it." She raised her hand to slap me, but I caught her wrist gently. "I wouldn't. Not in front of your family." Trey tried to step forward again but found his way blocked by two police officers who'd been waiting in the hallway. "Trey Miller?" one of them said. "You're under arrest for distribution of controlled substances." As they led Trey away in handcuffs, I turned back to the stunned dinner party. "The cake's chocolate," I announced. "Cara's favorite. Please, everyone eat up. After all, this is a celebration." I walked out of Romano's into the warm evening air, leaving behind the wreckage of my old life. My phone buzzed with a text from Ray. "How'd it go?" I climbed into my restored Mustang and started the engine. The sound was pure music, powerful, honest, real. "Perfect," I texted back. "Turns out I'm worth celebrating after all." As I drove through the city streets, the lights blurring past my windows, I felt something I hadn't experienced in months. Peace. The game was over, and for the first time in years, I'd won. Behind me, Romano's grew smaller in my rearview mirror, along with everything I was leaving behind. Ahead lay nothing but open road and possibility. I pressed down on the accelerator and smiled.